Good evening, all. I welcome all candidates to our highly anticipated demo session of AWS Cloud Practitioner. We are actually absolutely thrilled to have each and every one of you here today as you take this important step in exploring what our organization has to offer. We understand that you have a choice when it comes to your future, whether you are a seasoned professional seeking new challenges or a fresh talent eager to embark on a promising career. We believe that you will discover here will leave you inspired and motivated. For making this demonstration more informative and interesting, here is Dr. Serin with us. He have PhD in application of data science in power systems. He is proficient in numerous embedded system tools and have working knowledge system tools and have working knowledge of multiple data analytic approaches. He lectured in the domains of embedded systems, artificial intelligence, closed platform app development, and STEM at over 100 trainings and workshops. He completed over 45 courses and 5 specializations from leading international universities. So before handing the session to him, once again, a warm welcome to all the candidates present today. I hope you find this demonstration informative, engaging, and a valuable part of your journey towards making an informed decision about your future. Dr. Sevi, you can now start the section. I hope all the learners are here. Thank you. Welcome to the session.
Thank you. So let me start. Good evening, all. Actually, my screen sharing have been disabled. Could you please arrange host privileges?
Dr. Sarin, please check now.
Yeah, it's fine. Thank you. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
So good evening, all. Let me first start with why we need to go for the cloud computing. Why there is an urgent necessary where most of the IT firms are nowadays hiring a lot of cloud engineers. Why we are going to the cloud engineering? Let me start. Let's be interactive. Okay. So if you take what is cloud computing, can anyone just point out me what is the difference between cloud computing and a traditional computing system? Have you ever used any cloud computing system? Any cloud computing application? Please be interactive if possible. Anyone? Have you ever used any cloud computing tool?
Yes, I have. Good afternoon
What
from
are all the
here in
cloud computing
Nigeria.
tools you have? Sorry, pardon.
I've used AWS
Oh,
and
that's great.
yes, a little of Azure, but not much. But my usage much more is on AWS actually.
Great. So, what is the difference between a traditional server and a cloud computing server or cloud computing facility?
Okay, I think part of what I experience is the speed with which you have these services provision compared to if you're using a normal data center where you have to set up machines yourself. So you spin up instances and services quickly,
That's
without doing so much. Yeah.
that's great. So, cloud, you get into any traditional website. About 90% of the current websites are currently hosted within the traditional hosting system, in which most of the data, which would be, hope my screen is visible. Is it visible?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Yeah. Oh, hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it's
Yes,
visible.
it is.
Yeah. So
Yes, it is. It is.
it was not showing. Okay. So most of the traditional server system, which is primarily designed for two purposes. One, it will be basically storing some data. For example, if you take any website, it will be just storing the data for that particular website. That's the first thing. Data in the sense, mostly it will be images or some operations will be. Second thing is that it will be running some programming server like JavaScript will be there, or Django like Python servers. I mean frameworks will be there. Web development frameworks will be there, or there can have some PHP web servers like Laravel or frameworks can be run. So primarily, it is used for two things. First is just storing the data, which you could see. Second is just running some background scripts or something. Even front end scripts are also available. That's the primary purpose of almost every web server which is nowadays used. And 90% of the current servers are just focusing on the traditional server system. Okay, but there are many problems with the traditional server system. One, sorry, I think there is some voice coming. So what first problem is that most of the traditional server system, the data will be stored in a single point unless you have purchased some additional backup option. Most of the organizations are nowadays charging for additional backup plans or additional backup features like that. Else, in 90% of the cases, all of the data will be stored in a single server point. And if something happens to that particular server point due to some virus attack or due to some data breach or due to some physical destruction due to flood or something, data will be lost. Okay. This is one of the major problem with the traditional postal system. So now, if you see from 2005 onwards, there have been a change in the traditional storage system in which there was a new term. Actually, it was not that much new term, but there was a new term which is called as distributed computing system was emerging. And by 2010, it was getting enough momentum, and from 2008 or 7 onwards, it was gradually moving to, because earlier distributed computer system was installed in a local area, whereas in 2010 onwards, it gradually moved to the traditional server system. It was gradually replacing the traditional server system. So I'm not getting into the more complicated detail. I was just saying like that. In a traditional server system, everything will be stored in a single point in most cases, whereas in distributed control system, the same data will be stored in multiple locations. That's the first thing, which is later turned to cloud computing, or later developed into the some of the core features of cloud computing. Okay, here what we will do in the right side, you could see instead of storing data into a single point, same data will be stored in multiple points. Many of the organizations are nowadays using this technology, and one of the most common technology which is used to achieve such thing is the big data Hadoop model. Okay, say an example. Suppose Instagram is using this storage technology using some big data methodology where multiple copies of the data will be stored. So suppose I am posting my photo within Instagram. Instantly it is upload, the Instagram will create multiple copies of that particular photo, and it will be stored in different locations. Uh, by default, most of the big data system will create at least 3 copies of that particular photo. So what will happen? Suppose I have uploaded a photo within Instagram from England. Instantly, there will be 3 or 4 copies will be created over that particular photo, and one photo will be stored in some point in Africa, one point will be stored in some point in South Asia, and one data will be stored in some point in America. So, what is the advantage of that? Even if there are 2 advantages. One, suppose there is some server problem or something in one area, we will be getting backup copy from other areas. There will not be any situation that all the areas will be having some copy. So data is secure. That's one thing. Second thing, suppose I am a celebrity and new film is released. For an example, think about the nowadays one of the most hit movies within Hollywood is Oppenheimer. Think about a situation that Oppenheimer is releasing. Okay, so every person will be trying to watch from a particular server. Think about that. There is Oppenheimer is released within Netflix, and Netflix has only one server. Think about a situation like that. So if each and every person around the world who like to watch that particular film is redirected to a single server, what will happen? Mostly, the system may get hacked, right? So in that case, what we can do is we can take the multiple copies of that particular film and we can add multiple storage locations, so that if people are watching from Africa, they can get into some location within some point within African, either in North Africa or South Africa. If people are watching with the Europe, they can have some locations within Eastern Europe or Western Europe. If people are watching within South Asia or North Asia, something like that, in that case, they could have locations. So the overall loading will be divided to multiple locations. In cloud, we'll call this as load balancing. Okay, this way, even if there are thousands of people or hundreds of people or lakhs of people are coming at the same time, as the overall server data is divided into multiple locations, it will be very fast, as well as there will not be any hacking like that. This is second methodology which have been adopted to cloud hosting system. Whereas traditional system does not have this much facility. In most of the cases, they'll be storing in one location, and if everyone try to jump into that particular location, we'll be losing the server or we'll be losing the connection or something. If you remember the earlier days, there was a time when even Gmail used to hang, right? This was majorly because of this kind of problems. Okay, so this is one thing. So when it comes to cloud computing, apart from the traditional systems, first the data will be stored in multiple locations so that no data will be lost. Second, there will be a load balancing system where multiple locations will be available so that people in that particular area can go for that particular reason. Sometimes this could be even for every city. There will be some provisions where people can access data from the local servers within that particular city itself, and everything will be controlled within a centralized location. This is the facility what cloud computing will provide. So, the third thing, there are one more thing which we should also talk about, the scaling part. Suppose I'm creating a OTT platform. Okay, I have 100 movies within that particular OTT platform, or think about 1,000 movies within that particular OTT platform. Average visitor count within my OTT platform is just 50,000 people. So every day, on an average, 50,000 people will be visiting my OTT platform. Suppose I am releasing a new movie. Let's think about that. I am releasing Oppenheimer movie. So on the releasing day, within hours, there will be lakhs and lakhs of people will be watching that particular movie. But I will not be releasing the new movies in every day, right? For example, Apple is releasing a new mobile phone, iPhone version. Think about it like that. So on the day of the releasing, lakhs and lakhs or crores of people will be, millions or billions of people will be sometimes watching that particular website. Remaining all days, there will be that much traffic. There will be some 1 lakh visitors or 50,000 visitors like that. But only for that particular day, there will be large volume of visitors. Again, think about a situation. Suppose I am creating a traditional server system. 300 out of 365 days, nearly 360 days, I will be having an average of 50,000 or 60,000 visitors. But for that 4 or 5 days, when I am releasing a new product, I will be having 11 lakh or 12 lakh visitors per day. Think about that. There are 1 million or 2 million visitors per day. Sorry?
How is the time? I can record it last time. Hi.
Yeah. Okay. So in that case, what we'll be doing in traditional server, we'll be purchasing a server that can handle about 22,000 or 20 million or 30 million people for the entire 365 days. But it is not actually in it. Someone is speaking. Could you please mute your mic?
I buy that.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, you know about that? Edubex education.
Sorry, I can't hear you. The voice is breaking. Anisha, could you please look into this?
Waiting. Because it's what I can go here. I want
If
to
you have any questions, maybe you can ask by end
Uh,
of the session. Would
Actually,
be
voice
great.
is breaking.
I want
Joshua, we can barely hear you.
I think you can mute him. Just mute him, please. Mute everybody so that we can hear, please.
Okay, I think that's fine. Sorry, actually, I can hear it. That's right. We'll address the question. Okay. So, in such situation, it is not economically viable to keep a large system, large server system which can accommodate 2 million or 3 million people for 365 days, even though we just need that particular system for just 4 or 5 days. Okay. In that case, where the cloud facility, if we have the cloud facility, what we'll be doing that 90% of the cases, that means for 360 days, we'll be working on our local system, the traditional system. Okay, now in those days where we have some large requirement of data, we'll be purchasing some space from the cloud, so that cloud will be providing us some server system that can handle 2 million or 3 million people. This is one of the most important features with the cloud. Okay, so this is called scaling. This is called scaling. Okay, so we'll be using a cloud system to get the scaling where normal day will not have that much traffic, but whenever we need some additional traffic, then we can achieve infinite amount of data or infinite amount of space from some other points. This will be also useful when if you are working as a data scientist or some machine learning engineer. So you will not be running machine learning algorithms on an everyday basis. You'll be getting data, then you'll be coding on that, then you'll be running the final deployment in every so once in every day or once in every week, sometimes once in every month only. Right. Mostly, many of the organizations are just running the machine learning data only in the month and where they'll be collecting all the data. Right. So when they are running that particular machine learning, they may need very large computing facilities, say for 4 hours or 5 hours within the month. So for 30 days, 24 into 7, they don't need a very high-end distributed computing system to run a machine learning code. They just need that facility only for 4 or 5 hours where that particular machine learning code is executed. So for only that particular time interval, they can purchase or avail additional cloud computing facility from the cloud. Okay, this is why the cloud computing is getting momentum, because whenever we need, we can take infinite amount of computer facility from cloud. Remaining, we don't. We'll work on the normal system, and we have to pay only for those time when we are accessing the cloud. And how much we are accessing, the payment will be based on that. Okay, so this is what cloud computing will. Due to this, nowadays almost every organization, every large organization, or even from startups itself, they are just moving to the cloud from traditional servers. That's why within last 6 or 7 years, there have been a huge requirement for the cloud engineers or cloud architect or cloud practitioners like that, because most of the system, almost 90% of the websites that have been created within last 30 years or more, they'll be just, at least think about that, 25 years. They are all working in traditional server. Now they are migrating to the cloud. And to migrate to the cloud, they need some engineers, architects, practitioners. They can help them, and we also need support for running the cloud. So apart from the normal server system, cloud has basically three features. One, it will be able to run servers, storage, database, networking software, and everything. They can provide all these things. Second, it is pay as you go, because whenever you are using that, you need to pay. If you are not using that, you don't have to pay. And whenever you need some high volume of data, you could take from that. Whenever you need some high RAM computing system, you could make use of that. Whenever you need a supercomputer, you could just go for it, and you'll be paying for that. Fourth thing and last thing, when it comes to cloud computing, it is more like running your laptop over the internet. It is more like that. It will not be just having the storage system. It will be having some storage system. Obviously, it will be having some servers, it will be having some virtual machines, it will be having some containers. Uh, I don't know how many of you have already used containers. There are many containers where, suppose I need to think about a situation. I'm launching a new app, and for that app, I have released a new version. Now, think about Netflix or some other payment. Okay, uh, I think you may have heard of the Google Pay system, or maybe you are using Google Pay system. Think about that. I'm using the Google Pay system, and Google Pay has released a version in last March. Now, Google Pay has released a new version of that particular mobile app with some additional security features. But what will happen? Suppose there are 50 million customers for the Google Pay. Not every customer will be instantly updating that particular version. Some customers will be instantly updating. Some customers will update only after 1 week. Some customers will update after 2 months. Some customers will only update the version after 7 months or 10 months, even after 1 year. So during this period, there should be two versions of Google Pay available. One older version, second newer version. So how to run these two versions together? For that, we could make use of the containers. Okay, so there will be containers available. There will be some tools where we can apply machine learning or artificial intelligence algorithm available. There will be some provisions for installing the firewalls, installing the security system. Everything will be available. So cloud is a single bundle which will include a lot of tools in a single point, in a centralized point. Okay, it is not like the traditional service. Okay, that's why many organizations are nowadays converting to the cloud system. So first, it is very sustainable. It has very low downtime. It has nearly 100% uptime. And data security is also good. Suppose I am purchasing some traditional server from a local vendors. In that case, the security will not be as good as Google provides. It will not be as good as AWS provides, or it will be as good as uh, Microsoft Azure provides. Always Microsoft, Google, AWS, everything is the market leader. They will be having the best security technology, the best firewall technology available in the world. So rather than going for a local vendor for the server system, I could directly purchase from Google, Microsoft, where I'll be getting the best system, which is available within cloud itself. Cost effective. We don't have to work on some traditional server system, even though we are not using. For example, I am running a website. I have purchased 1 GB of space, storage space for storing the particular data. But I'm just using 300 or 400 MB for my website, not more than that. And I don't need that much usage also. I have a bandwidth of 100 GB, but my website visitors are just using 3 GB or 4 GB of data per year. I don't need that much. I don't have that much visitors. Even though I'm just purchasing some additional space, thinking that there will be some day where there will be large visitors, and I'm paying more amount of money for that. Even though I'll be getting some cheaper version for 300 or 400 MB with much minimum price, I'm just paying for higher price. So in cloud, we don't have to think about such programs because cloud will be automatically updated. Yeah, when there is requirement, we need to pay. That's the only thing. Okay, this is why many organizations are moving to the cloud. And now you could see this is the revenue which have been generated over cloud computing market within last couple of years, and this is the projection also. So you would see it will be increasing in multiple times within next a decade, and there will be a large. Hello? Yeah. We are expecting a large requirement for the cloud engineers. And so, so this is why we are expecting a large volume of requirement within the cloud sector. Now, within cloud sector itself, there is no. It is not like that I know cloud and I will be getting a particular job in the cloud engineering like that. It's not like that. Within the cloud sector itself, there are multiple job profiles available. For an example, there are support specialists. Support specialists in the sense, if I have purchased a cloud system and 90% of the day it is working perfectly, but in some days there are some errors or some modules are not working. In that case, there will be some supporting point where we'll be able to support on that. And there will be system engineers within the cloud. Within cloud itself, there will be IP protocols, there will be virtual machines running, there will be connectivities between multiple modules. So system engineer will be looking into all these things. And within cloud itself, there will be databases. There are multiple data. There will be NoSQL databases will be there. Big data databases will be there. MySQL databases will be there. So we need a database manager to manage each and everything. So within database administrator itself, there will be NoSQL administrator will be there. SQL administrator, SQL administrator will be there. BigQuery or big data administrator will be there. So within cloud itself, there will be multiple roles available for different persons. So what we have seeing a trend like that. For, suppose a particular person who have been working on last 10 years on SQL or non-SQL, when he's taking the cloud certification, he will be termed as a SQL database administrator. Think about a person who has been working for last 1 year as machine learning engineer or 5 years as machine learning engineer. After taking the cloud certification, he'll be moved to the machine learning engineer within cloud profiles, because within cloud itself there are hundreds of machine learning modules are available. So we could work on that. Similarly, there will be software engineer where you can run some Flask or Django or software JavaScript or PHP or Node.js, or there will be some database software development tools also available within cloud, where if you are working as a software engineer, after taking the cloud certification, you could move to cloud software engineer, solution architect or developer like that. So cloud is not creating a new job profile. Instead, what they are doing is, whatever the people who are existing within some job profile, the operations will be migrated to the cloud and they'll be provided with the same operation with some additional features. Similarly, one of the most trending topic, DevOps engineer. Nowadays, I would say 70 to 80% of the DevOps have been gradually migrating to the cloud, because cloud is one of the best DevOps option available, where you could be getting hundreds of features available like continuous monitoring, error logging, support, testing, and everything. Everything will be available in a single point itself, so that it will be easy for you to develop a product and deploy it within minimum efforts. So nowadays there have been large number of requirements for the DevOps engineers also. So yeah, now we get into, if you search within almost every IT sector profile and the average salaries itself, the cloud engineers are having some good salary, very nearer to data scientist or business analyst. If you just check with most of the website, job profile website, they are having one of the best salaries. This is the average salary which a cloud engineer gets within US. And again, even though the data scientist and some people are getting some good salaries in addition to the cloud also, nowadays most of the data scientists have been asked to take a cloud certification. Why? Because as you know, within last couple of months, at least within last 1 year, the most trending topic is generative AI. Simpler words, the ChatGPT. ChatGPT is one of the most common generative AI. So if you want to run a generative AI, it's extremely difficult to run within the local server system unless you have that much capacity. Within cloud, it is very easy, because most of the cloud providers are providing their own generative AI or API system. For example, Google, they have one of the best generative AI system with BAR or BLM. Similarly, most of the cloud providers are providing generative AI. So nowadays, even though you are working as a machine learning engineer itself, many organizations are asking the machine learning engineers to take the cloud certification, because they cannot exist without the cloud certification itself. So it's the future. Cloud is the future. And big data. You may have heard of the big data. Let me tell you something. Within next 4 or 5 years, many organizations may not be using the word big data, because the term big data was arised when there was large volume of data and we need some technology to process it, some special technology to process it. But in coming future, what will happen is, if they are using the cloud, we have infinite facilities, we have infinite computing system, then why we need a particular special technology for big data? there will be big data technologies. There will be same methodologies which we have been using big data and everything. But big data will not be that much importance if cloud get good momentum. Nowadays itself, many of the organizations have stopped using the coin term big data. Instead, they are just using some what is the database name itself, not big data like that. So big data will be killed by cloud. It's my prediction, and many IT experts have predicted this. Now, when it comes to the cloud, you could see AWS, which is from the Amazon. They are the market leaders. They have nearly 32% share, and Azure, and they are from Microsoft. They are also having some good share. Google Cloud, it's still growing, but I will tell you one more thing. Yeah, Google Cloud will be getting momentum as Google Cloud is one of the having. Google Cloud is having one of the best generative AI models within the all available models. So we are expecting that within 3 or 5 years, Google Cloud will be getting the momentum. But yeah, for now, AWS is the best model. Okay, so we'll be focusing on the AWS. When it comes to the suppose you want to get some job within the cloud sector itself, 99% of the organizations are requesting you for a cloud certification. It's extremely rare so that you'll be getting a job on the cloud sector without a certification. It's extremely rare. Yeah, some organization will be allowing because that particular person may be having some good experience in the past, that they will ask them to take some certification later also. But nowadays, almost every organization is not taking any person unless they don't have any certification. It's extremely rare. Yeah, some organizations are there. I'm not saying that no organization is like that, but yeah, extremely rare. So if you want to take some cloud certification, one of the foundational certification is AWS Cloud Practitioner, which we'll be focusing. It's comparatively simpler to take. And second higher level operation is AWS Solution Architect Certificate. It is a little bit tough. It is not that much tough, but yeah, it is a little bit tough. But we'll be first focusing on AWS Cloud Practitioner. Okay. So when it comes to the AWS Cloud Practitioner, our pattern will be like this. We are planning for 50 to 75 hours of training, in which the initial stages will be performing some base level operation of the cloud with lab. Almost 90% of our sessions will be on practical, hands-on. We'll be completely doing hands-on only. We'll not be having that much theory part. Yeah, we need to express some theory parts also, but 90% of our classes will be practical. So we will teach you how to get a cloud account. Then we will teach you each and every module within the cloud account, and we will teach you what will the possible questions for the AWS Cloud Practitioner exam, and we will teach you how to approach that particular questions, because in most of these exams, once a question is asked, 90% of the cases that question will not be repeatedly asked, but there will be questions with similar answers or similar patterns. They will be asked. So we'll provide you with a question bank of nearly 500 to 2,000 questions in different subsections, and we will have question discussion sessions, because it's very important. Because as I've already told you, passing an AWS Cloud Practitioner is very simple, unless you don't understand the question, how the questions will be asked. So what we'll do is, initial stages, 1 to 2 hours, we'll be giving you some theory portion. We'll be explaining what is cloud technology and everything. What is the theory behind that? Maximum 1 hour to 2 hours. After that, we will start working on the cloud tools, various cloud tools within AWS. Like within AWS itself, there are multiple cloud tools available. Like there are S3, where we'll be storing the data. There are computing. EC2, where we'll be creating the virtual machines. There are Cloud9, where we'll be working on Python or Node.js or Java programs. And there will be Lambda, where we'll be working on the serverless architecture. And there are about 40 or 50 architectures. Out of that, we'll be practically working on the most important topics, 50 to 20 tools, and where we need to look into that particular tools when it comes to exam perspective. We'll be explaining all these things. So this is our agenda. And now we are open to the queries. Hello, if there are any queries, please let us know. Anisha?
Hello,
Yeah.
am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So far, everything is crystal clear, but I just have a quick question. I'm looking on satisfying for AWS. I'm not really familiar with it, but I'm a software developer. But just recently, I've been just going through the tutorials, online tutorials. So I don't know. Hello?
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
please
Hello?
audible.
continue.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
please continue.
So I don't know if how can I go about it, like registration and all the stuffs. I don't know if
Don't worry about that. We'll be providing you the expert support. We'll provide you to work on different modules. We'll be giving some assignments so that you can work on that particular module, and we will help you. As we have already told, we'll help you in identifying the the questions, what be the questions, and how to approach the exam. We will do one or two mock tests in which we'll be providing some support for how to behave in exam. That's very important because it will be a proctored exam, and within that proctored exam, we'll help you how to register for the exam, and we'll showcase you how to go to the module and how to register for the day and everything. We'll showcase everything. But again, within the exam itself, there should be some code of conduct. Like for an example, if you just move your eyes frequently, there will be some posting in the exam. If you try to speak with some other person during the exam, even if you are reading the questions loud, there will be some posting exams, and proctor will be informing. So we'll be doing demo test also to make sure that everything is perfect. And the teaching will be from very scratch level, so that everyone will be understanding that. We'll make sure of that. And if some person is facing some difficulty, we'll be providing additional session for one-to-one for that particular person to some extent. Hope it is okay, Jimmy.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So I'm trying to fill out the Google form, but it doesn't seem to work. I don't know if I'm the only one going through the same problem. I can't seem to fill the Google form.
Anisha?
Yeah, you can. Try again, you can do it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question?
So those who are interested to know more about the courses, you can fill in the Google form so that our advisors can contact you directly.
come again there?
Yeah, those who are interested to know more about the courses can fill in the Google form so that our advisors can contact you directly.
Okay, maybe you can forward that link. Where do you access that? Those forms?
It's in the chat. It's in the meeting chat.
Okay.
We can share it again.
I have shared again the Google form in the chat box. You can fill that Google form and submit it.
One more last thing here, you could see, even if it is hiring for a DevOps engineer, even if it is hiring for the software engineer itself, nowadays many organizations are asking for cloud certifications. See here, almost in every profession, they are just asking cloud certifications. So there is a huge prospectus, job prospectus. Okay, once again, any queries? If not, I think we can wind up. Anisha?
Yeah. Anyone have any queries? Seems like we don't have much queries.
Oh, so we'll wind up. Thank you all.
Thank you
Yeah,
all.
as we come to the close of this enlightening and engaging demo session, I want to express our gratitude to each of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.